What's going on, y'all? Last video I talked about annoying group home kids. So today I want to talk about the cool group home kids, because you got to watch them too. Working with good clients, I've had a lot of good clients. From the day they walked in the group home, they was cool. We had what they call the honeymoon phase, where the first few weeks, since they don't know anybody, they don't really understand the power dynamics. They don't understand who they could get away with stuff with, who don't play no games. They don't know where they can fit in yet. So everyone's on their best behavior the first couple weeks. The more you start to know them, the more they kind of start feeling comfortable in the place. That's when most clients show their ass. But the cool clients, they're cool from the day they come in till the day they leave. I've had clients that I'll literally look at sometimes and be like, "Why are you here?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you this cool? Like, they're that cool. They do what staff asks them to do. They do everything they're supposed to do. There's always going to be complaining because, again, there's so many kids. Everyone has everyone has their own agenda. Some people want to do this, some people want to do that. There's appointments, there's all things we got to keep up with. A lot of times they don't get to do what they want to do. They don't get to watch what they want to watch on TV. They don't get to play video games. They don't. I mean, it's difficult being in a group home, living there and working there. You get a lot of kids who they complain. It is what it is. But the good kids, they complain and they don't go cause problems. The bad kids or the annoying kids, the unruly clients, when they don't get what they want, that's when they start going off, cursing up a storm, throwing stuff, doing all that. But the cool kids, man, they just make your shift so easy. Especially if you got a house full of cool kids. I've experienced that a bunch of different times, and man, that's the days you love going into work. Sometimes, I remember a group of kids, they would play their own like imaginary games, and they like playing cards, magic cards, and they like skateboarding and all these type of things. And mostly what they would get in trouble for is like little stupid things, like maybe not doing the chore or not, but it wouldn't be nothing crazy like trying to fight other clients or going AWOL, damaging property. It was just usually little petty stuff that's like, why are you doing this nonsense? It seemed more like immaturity than just a kid really just being bad or a real nuisance. But the thing about that, it keeps you in a very great mental state. You go to work all the time. You don't have to mentally prepare to work with these guys, because you know what to expect from them. They're gonna come in, they're gonna want to play their video games, they're gonna want to play their cards, they're gonna want to go out from time to time. And even if they don't get to do that, they're upset, but they deal with it. And as a staff, it's a lot easier to have those kind of kids, because they're gonna understand. Then it makes you want to do stuff for them. So if there's times when there was no money in the budget for them to go on an activity, you might come out of your own pocket and say, I'll take you guys to the Dollar Theater to enjoy a movie. That's how I was sometimes. I paid for the clients to go to the Dollar Theater a few different times. I paid for them for Redbox movies. That's how it is when you work with clients that they're doing the right thing, and it makes your life easier. I mean, it makes the shift go by faster. It seems like when you got the unruly kids, the time is just going so slow. When you got these kids that not only are they good, but they're also smart enough to have activities for themselves, whether the house is doing an activity or not. Let's say we're so busy, we're so swamped with other things, we can't take them out on a rec or something like that. They already have set activities that they want to do. Like I said, the magic cards, video games. I've seen clients pick up books. I've seen clients write. Some of them wanted to like write raps. They found out I was rapping, so I seem to have inspired a lot of them to pick up the pen and do their thing. So that was cool. They was always trying to get me to rap. That wasn't happening. Yeah, I mean, it just made the shift so much smoother. That's all what the us as staff is looking for, is to have a smooth shift. You want to go in and be writing, because anytime the clients are bad, they're damaging property, they're going AWOL and fighting and all this other stuff, we have to do more paperwork. AWOL reports. I mean, it's so many things that the group home make you do. You gotta call all these different people. You gotta write all these fucking reports. You gotta send a fax to the police station if they go AWOL. You gotta call their parents, the social worker, their guardian. You gotta call the people. You gotta call the program director. You gotta call CANTS. The AWOL thing is crazy. So I really hated the class that went AWOL, because you had to do so much damn paperwork. But I mean, it's part of the job, I guess. So when you got kids that's cool and they do what they're supposed to do, first and foremost, they not only they make it easier on the staff, they make it easier on themselves, because they get to go home a lot faster. If that's an option for them, either they get to go home or they get to transition into yet another program. There's a program called the Yes program that it actually helps them pay their rent, and they have to get a job and help them be, so they're like semi-independent, and then eventually they're gonna transition to being fully independent. You know, the clients who was good, they wasn't there for very long. You know, the program on average, I think the one I was working at was like an 18-month program. Some people, I seen people leave even faster than that, or right around there. The guys who was always causing trouble, going AWOL, you know, doing all this dumb shit. It was a client there. He was as long as I was there. Like when I first got hired, 2012. He was there, and he just recently left, and it's now 2000. He was there 5 years. I mean, it's like an 18-month. It's supposed to be an 18-month program. Like, why are you still here? Because you keep fucking around doing all this dumb shit. But for him, he was one of the clients who most of the trouble he got into was outside of the house. You know, he usually did what he was supposed to do inside of the house. So he didn't cause me too many problems within the house. Either way, whether a client causes problems outside the house or inside the house, it still makes it harder on yourself, and it makes it harder for you to leave. So just being a cool client, I try to tell them that all the time. The worse you are, the longer you stay here. The cooler you are, the shorter time you stay here. You know, DCYF sees you doing a good job. The program sees you doing a good job and gives you more benefits. They let you go out into the community, have passes, let you go off to the mall by yourself and do all kind of things. If you're bad, you don't get any of that. And a lot of them, you start to feel cooped up. Like I said, I was one of the few staff that took the clients anywhere. So unless I was working a shift, you probably was sitting in the house all day. But if you was good and you get passes, I mean, this client's right now, he wakes up at like 8 o'clock, bounces. He don't come back till like 11. So he barely feels like he's in a group. They let him have a cell phone. I mean, when you're good, when you good and you make people's lives easier, you be surprised how they reward you for it. That's just group home life for you. But at the same time, with these good clients, these clients that never cause any problems, you got to keep their eye on it. You got to keep your eye on them, because sometimes they're being good, you know, in front of your face, but they're doing a lot of sneaky stuff behind the scenes. You know, when I first got there was these clients who, you know, they did everything, did all their chores, did everything that was asked, never got into too much trouble in the house, but, you know, they was doing a lot of sneaky stuff. You know, they was sneaking around cell phones. That was a big thing. The clients were sneaking. I mean, it's 2017. Everybody got a damn cell phone. But the clients, you know, the program didn't allow cell phones at first. You know, they allow them now, but before, when I first got there, it was none of that. So these guys would sneak around, have they were doing a whole bunch of sneaky stuff, but just portraying themselves as being good. You kind of get the sense of being played. Like, man, this guy, I thought this guy was a good guy. He's doing everything he's supposed to do, but he's sneaking cell phones. And the funny thing about it, they always get caught. I mean, this one client, he would just, okay, Kai, you know, I'm going to go in my room now. You know, I'm going to just be in there, and so anybody needs me, and, you know, I'll be in there. And I'm like, why the hell does this guy keep fucking, like, telling me 8 million times where he's going to be at? Only to come find out, this guy's blowing cigarettes in his room. He got like 2 fans set up facing outside with the windows open, and he's smoking cigarettes in his room, blowing the smoke outside. Finally, I guess maybe one of the staff pulled up and seen smoke coming out his window, and he finally got caught. So a lot of times, that little goody two shoes routine is just a front for them to be sneaky. I've seen a lot of different kind of sneakiness. A lot of times I was surprised, but a lot of times I was like, I knew he was up to something. You know, I knew he couldn't be that damn good all the damn time. You know, you just gotta watch him. That's all. Be vigilant. Never put too much trust in him, because these kids will manipulate you and use you and play you and not think twice about it. Because I've seen a guy who, you know, had his grandmother come bring him a bunch of clothes, and he's telling him, oh, grandma, you know, I'm not gonna get in trouble no more. I'm not gonna. I think she dealt with it so much she didn't even really believe him, but she's like, look, I'm bringing you these clothes, you know, just to help you out this last time. And he's saying all this, he's saying all the right things, and she's just like, yeah, whatever. And later on that day, he's giving the clothes away to other clients. He's trying to sell the stuff just to be able to buy weed. And I'm like, this guy just played his own grandmother. I mean, he wasn't necessarily what I was called a good client, you know, but he was one of the guys that just caused problems outside of the house. But these kids know how to put on the front of being good when they want to. You just got to constantly watch them, constantly check up on them, constantly make sure they're doing whatever they're supposed to be doing. Because what people tend to do is when a client appears to be good, people kind of are they're very lax on them. They don't watch them as much as they do. They might let them be alone for a little bit longer than they would let a client who they know is, you know he's going to be up to something. He's going to be trying to do something. So you always want to be up on him. But when you got somebody who seems like they're a really good kid, you're like, he's a good over there. I'll let him go downstairs by himself and go get his laundry or get a snack or whatever. He doesn't cause no problems. Those be the motherfuckers that go sneak in the office, steal some money, come back, hey, everything's cool, smiling in your face and all that. There's a lot of manipulation going on. These kids, and all these kids think they're smarter than everyone these days. They think that everyone falls for their little goody two-shoe scheme, but I've been here long enough to, I kind of see right through all that. It is what it is, man. It's just life. People try to get over. Yeah, but anyway, just my 2 cents. Just my thoughts. Holla at your boy.